now. And good morning, family. Good to have you here with us today. Man, we've got a great show. I'm happy that you are here. And we're about to get started here. You know the drill. If you're just joining me, sign in. Let me know where you're watching from. It's always good to know that. Got a great show today. Jim Laverde from Barren will be here in just a couple minutes, and he'll be my co host for today. And Marcus Allen is here today with us from Becoming Sons. Great band. And if you don't know much about Becoming Sons, you came to the right place. We're going to talk about the band, the mission, and the folks involved. And great stuff ahead. So, folks, I'm happy that you're here. And I'm happy that we can spend this little bit of time together. It's a beautiful day here in Tennessee. We had a little bit of snow a week ago, and now it's all melted, and we're getting into the mid 60s and up to 70, and it's good. Stephen Cole is here from Oklahoma. Stephen, good to see you today. Good friends in Oklahoma. Barry is here. Good morning, Pastor Bob and Sanctuary family. He said, it's a joy to be here. I like hearing that, Barry. Thank you. I like hearing that very much. Yeah, I know. Jonas is here. Jonas from Sanctuary Kenya in Africa. Good morning, family. He says, looking forward to hearing from Becoming Sons. Yes, we are. I'm looking forward to seeing Jonas in a couple weeks. We will be meeting in Denmark, and their worship project at the mountain will be playing. Very excited for them to do that. And folks, by the way, if you're in Europe, I'll be speaking 3 times at the end of March, well, middle and end of March. First, I'll be at Elements of Rock in Switzerland, then Denmark, and then Light the Dark Festival in Sweden. So looking forward to seeing you if you happen to be at one of those 3 places. If not, we've got great things happening this summer. Immortal Fest is coming up, Sanctuary's 40th anniversary at Immortal Fest, which will be great. Al Cox is here from Elgin, Illinois. Love Becoming Sons, and my favorite song is Awakened. Awesome. Well, we're about to spend some good time with them today. Also, for those of you in Germany and around that area, I will be speaking at Loud and Proud Festival, also in September. So he says, Joel says hello from Melbourne, Australia. We've got some great friends in Melbourne and all over Australia. Want to pray for Pope Francis? Yeah, he's really sick right now, and he has double pneumonia. And yes, keep him in your prayers. Absolutely, Joel. Thank you for reminding us. Rodney Jeffrey, also a good friend from Queensland, Australia, says, good morning, all. Good to have you here, Rodney. You know, we've got such great friends from all over the world, and again, I'm happy that you're here. Our good friend David Kelly White is here, and he says, good morning to Pastor Bob Beeman. He's from Littleton, Colorado, and he said it's 32 degrees there. Wow, it's a little colder there than it is here. We had that kind of weather last week, and now it's warm. I like the warm. Warmer, yes. Bobby is here this morning from Austin, Texas. Great friends in Austin, great friends in Texas. So thank you for joining us today, Bobby. And Bishop Spring from nowhere in Illinois. I like that. I love that. Somewhere in Illinois. Erica is here from Chattanooga, right here in Tennessee, where we are broadcasting from. And folks, once again, if you're just joining us, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to say hello to you, and we're going to keep putting it on the screen as we continue to go through everything. Our good friend Johannes Jonsson is here from Sweden, the originator of the Metal Bible. And Johannes and I have told that story many times. Our conversation in 1999 at the beginning of the vision. And now the Metal Bible is in 12 languages. And Johannes, it's so good to always have you here, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks at Light the Dark Festival. It'll be great. And Nicole, my good friend Nicole, is here today from Southern California. We've been friends for 40 years, a long time. And she's one of the original sanctuarians. Um, but she's a very special person to me. Love you a lot, Nicole. Good to have you here. Barry says, I'm looking forward to Immortal. You know, we have such great things, and I am especially excited that Vengeance is going to play for our 40th, and it was no small task to talk them into it. But, you know, after they're going to dust a little bit of dust off of their guitar, brush the dust off, and of their instruments, and they're going to do a great job. Really excited to have them part of it. Speaking of be excited, I'm happy to have my co-host with me today, Mr. Jim Laverde. There he is.
Hi, everybody.
Good
Good to
morning,
see
Jim.
everybody and hear all those nice folks out there in podcast land.
In
Hi.
podcast land, right? Yeah.
Yes, Bobcast land.
So, Jim, you're in the storehouse now.
I am in the storehouse where we have the sign behind me. It says, "We are metal, we are family,"
Yeah,
and it's one of my favorite sayings that we ever came up with, and I love it. Yep, I'm in here.
awesome. And
So
behind you is where the worship team plays. The worship
yeah,
team and the worship band. We have two of them.
yes, we do. We have
Drum.
classic and extreme.
Yes,
Well, I love it. I love it. So
exactly.
yeah. Mhm.
Well, our good friend Marcus, who's with us today, actually is a worship leader,
Yeah.
and we'll have a good time talking about worship. Jim, we've got a special event coming up this weekend.
Hmm.
You've been preparing for, and
Yes.
do you want to talk about it?
Sure. So Barren Cross is going to be playing at the gathering. We're
Yeah.
doing a very short set, but anyway, so yeah, so Mike Drive is going to be flying out here this weekend, and I think he's actually doing something with Human Code. And I was like, well, while you're out here, why
Yeah.
don't we just go ahead and throw together, three songs. We're not throwing them together. We're working hard on them actually, and yeah, so we're going to play right here, intimate setting with Barren Cross here at the gathering this Saturday, and um,
Awesome.
and so we're really looking forward to it. We've been actually practicing quite a bit for our concert in April out at the BMI Entertainment Center in Ohio,
Yes.
and we're getting ready for that show, and I hope that folks can make it out to that as well. It's going to be a good time, family time, as I would say.
Good family time.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So, Jim, the weekend we're calling the Stage of Intensity.
Hmm.
You're also going to do that song.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, we're going to be doing that one. It's everybody, I enjoy playing that song. It's a good song live, and it's got a really good message. And but yeah, so it's going to be it's Stage of Intensity weekend. And so, we're looking forward to it. We're actually having a rehearsal here tonight, this evening, in preparation for Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll be rehearsing with Mike for the show coming in April. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of work. Hey Bob, I just want to say this to all you people out there that think that doing music is easy. It is a lot of work.
Yes.
I've already got 30 hours of rehearsal just in preparation for one show, two shows actually. So it's a lot of work, and it's worth it. The love of the metal and the music
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we lost him. He'll be back on. His battery may have died on his phone, so we'll see what happens. But so yeah, he's put in a lot of work for this. And our worship band will be playing on Saturday. Really great heavy metal worship, very hardcore. And then on Sunday, Jim will lead the worship team. Some of the, we always call them the old guys, the older members. Some of them have been on our worship team for, well, for almost 40 years, Jim.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that, Bob. You guys cut out. I forgot to turn my phone on do not disturb. But yes. So Saturday we have our incredible you may have already said this, but our extreme worship band, incredible, talented
Yes,
musicians, and they'll be leading us in worship on Saturday and on Sunday morning. We have some of the players that play in that band that are going to jump over to Sunday morning. I think Crystal and Jen are singing with us, and so yeah, it's going to be great. We meet every Sunday morning at 10:30 here at 10:30,
yes,
and
and yes,
and and we have a okay. My favorite thing is that we do a meal together. We sup together. We enjoy each other's company. Um, and then we have some worship time, and then Socratic discussion, and afterwards we have our fellowship time, which is also important. And
yes,
one of the things that I really enjoy about what we're doing is that it's family.
yes,
We are metal. We are family, um, and that we are able to commune together. And I'm seeing that people are now getting together outside of sanctuary. They're calling each other, they're encouraging each other, they're praying for one another, and that just lights my fire. I love that. So
absolutely. It's a good group of people.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
really.
for sure. Oh yeah, it's great, and the discussions are just off the chains good.
Yeah.
It's usual as usual, church outside the box. Pastor Bob starts off by leading the discussion, and then we all chime in with our own thoughts, which makes it incredibly interesting. I love doing Socratic discussion, Socratic discussion, because it's more than just one person listening to one person. We're listening to the hearts of everybody, which is really neat. I love that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's always a great time, and you know, we have a lot of special guests coming this week at Saturday. Chris Ness will be here with us. Chris
Oh, awesome.
is a singer for Precious Death. He'll be telling us about some very exciting news with Precious Death. So
Yes.
we're excited for him to announce that, and of course, we have a lot of bands that attend. Some of them are in the worship team, and
Yep.
great, great
Oh,
folks. It's
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not, don't know if I'm even supposed to say this, but I got a glimpse of some Precious Death, and it is off the chains good. I'm
Yes.
telling you, those guys are a fantastic
Oh,
band, great message, and man, hats off to you, Chris. You guys have done a phenomenal job. So
yes, yes, yes. Really phenomenal.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Jim and I have both had a little early listening to some of the stuff they're working on, and it is incredible.
it is so good.
Their best stuff yet, don't you think, Jim?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And their concerts have always been one of the best. They used to get up and take a TV set and turn it on and hit it
Yeah,
with a baseball bat. And I
that,
thought,
yeah,
I just always thought that was so clever,
yeah,
and the way they did it. So yeah, just a great band. And what can you say about them? They're not just a great band. They're a great group of believers
yes,
who have have the love of Christ in their heart, and I always say that the music in the band is secondary to our relationships we have for one another and what kind of person you are.
yes,
And so yeah, definitely looking forward to that record coming out. So
absolutely. And Barren Cross is has done a little evolving as well, Jim.
yeah, um,
Yes.
well, let's just talk about that for a second, if we can just
Yeah.
take a minute. So our drummer Steve, a few years ago, was diagnosed with ALS, and that's a nerve degeneration disease that starts from the feet and works your way up. And he also has the beginning stages of Alzheimer's as well. And I had a chance to go visit with him a few months ago when I went to go see my mom and dad. And he's in good spirits. He came up to me. He goes, "Jim, you still playing bass?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
And so he's not going to be with us. And Joey Mancaruso, Glenn's son, is going to be in on drums. And I remember when Joey was born.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
all these years later, now he's playing in the band. That's just like incredible.
That's cool.
His wife, Crystal, is going to be joining us on backing vocals and keyboard. What a talent she is, and a sweetheart of a person. And then Keith Smith is going to be joining us on guitar. Ray is unable to do this next show because of his work schedule. So it'll be me and Mike and a couple new members, three new members, and it's sounding great. I mean, we've been rehearsing. Rehearsed Close to the Edge, Dying Day, and Stage of Intensity, and it just sounds great. I mean, I do, but I think it does. But it's going
Yeah.
good.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Awesome.
all three of those people are phenomenal players. So
Yes. Yeah, they really are. And of
yeah,
course, Joey and Crystal from our Extreme Worship band
yeah,
um,
oh yeah,
do a phenomenal job. And
yeah,
Keith
yeah.
has been playing also with you in the worship team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had Keith on numerous occasions. Always does a great job. And
Yeah.
let me just say something about all three of these people. They're great musicians, and again, even better people. They have just been a joy to work with, and they show up, they do their homework, and it is just so fun to play with good musicians that are just a joy to work with. So, hats off to you guys. Oh. and so, but yeah, yeah, for sure. And oh yeah, and of course, Crystal and Joey playing the Extreme Worship team, and they're doing a great job
Yeah.
uh, with the music and the worship and the spirit behind it as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
They're awesome. I
yep.
love our team here, and I love the things that are going on with it. So, Jim, we have the best coffee in the world, as everyone knows. And this is my favorite one, the Joe Mama coffee that we named after my mama,
Hmm.
her favorite.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, inflation has been a really tough thing internationally right now. Coffee prices have gone through the roof, so we had to raise the price of our coffee a little bit. And I just wanted to thank everyone that's still ordering, even though it's a little higher in price right now. We just couldn't afford to sell it with and lose money on it, so we had to raise the prices just a bit. Our margins
Mm.
are thinner at this point, um, but thank you, folks, for continuing that. If you've seen the coffee prices change, that's the reason for it.
And hopefully, Bob, in the future, within the next year, we'll see prices come down
Yes, I think
because
we're
of
already starting to.
some serious accountability in our government. So
Yeah, I
so
think it. I think it's definitely happening. Yes.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So but yes, for sure. Even though that the price of the coffee has gone up, it still raises your blood pressure a little bit, which you
Just a little. Yeah.
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 So
There you go. In a good
yeah.
way. In a
Yeah.
good.
And let me just say that people that are drinking the coffee, it's the profits that are used for that we get off the coffee go towards helping with the homeless, helping with sanctuary. None of us aren't paid staff here, so we're donation only ministry,
Yeah.
and so we're doing this for sanctuary because we love and we feel like God is in it. So everything is voluntary, the band, Pastor Bob, everybody. And so when we get people that are donating towards Sanctuary, it's going towards a good cause. We have a refrigerator and a freezer back there that are full of food that go out to feed the homeless. And I think Todd Bowe is even out right now going to Trader Joe's to collect uh, some food. And so it's an ongoing ministry, and it takes finances to make those wheels go round and round.
Yeah, it definitely does. And Jim, homeless ministry, but also we're doing quite a bit with human trafficking these
Yes,
days.
we are. Yes, we
Sure.
are. And yeah, we're working with uh, Global Rescue One, Global, and they are
And
taking girls out of that environment and putting them into safe houses, and we're very much supportive of them with
yeah,
providing with them with food, and
yeah,
yeah, that is a phenomenal ministry. So
it's a big deal.
uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, yep,
Well, Jim, we've
absolutely,
got
100.
an exciting show coming up, and
Yeah,
I'm excited to have Marcus here with us today.
yeah,
We're gonna we're gonna bring him on in just a minute, folks.
yeah.
Don't go anywhere. We're about to be right back. We'll come back with Marcus, and we'll learn a little bit about Marcus and becoming sons. Great show ahead. Don't go anywhere. Hello, family. I'm excited to be with you this year at Light the Dark Festival. We're going to have a great time in Norrköping, Sweden, March 28th and 29th. Great bands, great fellowship. I can't wait to be there with you. Don't miss it, folks. Get your tickets now. They're on sale. And I'll look forward to seeing you in March. And we're back with our special guest today. We have Marcus Ellen from Becoming Sons. Marcus, great to have you here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here.
Great to have you here. So, Marcus, we have so much we need to know. Inquiring minds want to know. And Jim and I will both have a lot of questions for you. Folks, if you have some questions also for Marcus, just jot them down and we will take those questions as well. Marcus, we already know you're cool. You have the striper sign behind you.
Yeah, every podcast and interview I do, the first thing they see is the striper, and they're like, "Yes, that's super cool."
Yes. Well, you know, they are kind of the foundation for a lot of the stuff that we've done. Michael Sweet was our first worship leader in the church, and of course, Jim was the next one and still is. Jim, you've been leading worship for 38 years, 30.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a long, long time.
Yes,
And I don't know how that can be since I'm only 38.
I know.
How does that work? Is that like bad math?
How did that happen?
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, Marcus, and that's something that you and Jim have in common. You're also a worship leader.
Yes.
So talk about that for a minute. How did you've got not only Becoming Sons, you have another band called Forever Alive, right? Is that the name?
Yes.
Yeah.
So mhm.
And but you also are a worship leader. You're involved in a lot of music, but how important do you feel like the worship aspect of it is in your life?
Oh, the worship aspect is insanely important because um, it's how I get through the day. Like worship is not only just limited to music. You know, worship is like, like my regular job is being a custodian at a school. So it's like serving people there at the school, making sure that stuff is clean. You know, opening doors for people,
Yes,
seeing like all of that is considered worship unto the Lord.
that's awesome. That's awesome. It's not just music, is it? That's a
Yep,
Mm.
good.
it's not only music, but music is one of the greatest tools, though. I love just everything that the Lord can do through music and through worship.
Yes,
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to chime in with that too, because there's always been the two sides to worship. Obviously one is the musical side, and then there's the power that comes behind it, which is the Lord intercepting all of that praise and worship, and then doing something in the midst of his saints and his angels around the throne of God, just proclaiming praise unto his name. There's so many things that happen, and it's so vital. Marcus is absolutely correct that it's not just the music, it's every day, worshiping God. I always tell people to worship the Lord through your struggles, worship the Lord through the good times and the bad times. And I know that's one element that's always gotten me through is when I'm going through something, I know that God is still there and he cares about me. Why? Because his presence in my heart and in my life and in my body, I can feel it. And that's that's in a way one of the ways that God shows us that he loves us so much, is that feeling, that comforting feeling that the Holy Spirit brings to us while we're worshiping.
absolutely, absolutely. Marcus, how long have you been doing worship? We'll get to the band
So,
in a minute, but
yeah, I'll try to shorten it up. But basically, I read that I gave my life to the Lord when I was 7,
great.
straight away, just because I was just too young and I was just being a kid and stuff like that. Um, parent kind of grew up. I grew up. I had an awesome childhood and everything, but always had a hard time communicating. Like my inner thoughts and like the stuff that was like kind of deep in my heart. Always kind of felt like I had to suppress it. Um,
Hmm.
and then I had a lot of energy when I was younger, and it took me a while to find the perfect outlet for my energy, which was actually drums. I'm actually a drummer. Um, and like drums is my main instrument that I play. And I took off with the drumming. My parents got divorced. I went through a bunch of stuff and straight away. And then all these years later, around November of 2019, that's whenever I had this uh, awesome encounter with God that like totally just it changed me, transformed me, and it kind of never looked back since then. And that's what kind of led me to start doing Forever Alive. So I started the project Forever Alive with my best brother Brandon Michael, and we started that and did that for about a year or two. And that was like basically just I would consider it like alternative rock worship, or like kind of, yeah, kind of more in the alternative aspect, where like we put out one album called The Truth, and it's got like all kinds of different styles on there. Like it's got rock stuff, it's got some southern rock, it has some pop stuff on there. We kind of just, it was a project where we were like, we are metal people, we love metal, rock is always going to be our first love musically, but let's just see what the Lord wants to do with us. So we just did all these different styles in 10 songs and put that out. And it's through Forever Alive that I met the guys in Becoming Sons, and then eventually later on became an official member in April of 2022. So I
Wow,
would say since 2019, I've been uh, help leading worship uh, with so many people.
that's
That's
awesome.
what Do you guys do original worship songs, or are you guys doing some covers, or
On which project?
on your? I mean, are you doing? Is the band that the other band that you were in? Are you guys doing? Is that a worship band? Is that what you're saying? Or
Yeah, I guess it would be kind of like considered a worship band.
uh-huh.
That for some reason that project's always been hard for me to like define it. Like I don't
Yeah,
really know
yeah.
what it is, but we're just being led by the Lord to just do whatever sound He wanted us to do. But I mean that band is no longer. We're not a band anymore, and it's
Mm,
mainly due to the fact that our drummer he passed away a few years ago.
mm,
And when he passed away, I was praying on it and I was like, should I continue doing Forever Alive? And I almost did. And then I kind of just kept praying more on it. And I kind of felt from the Lord to like, not end it, but definitely put a pause on that for
mm.
now. So it's kind of just been like, we're just inactive, basically.
Okay, I got you.
Hiatus, I guess, for lack of a better
Mm.
word.
No, that's
So, Marcus, you started with Becoming Sons as a hired gun. You didn't
Yes.
have to stay with the band, did you?
Yeah. So in 2021, actually on my birthday's April 16th, and I was playing a show here with Forever Alive at a place called Fitzgerald's. We love this venue. Always feels like home when we play that venue. And the guys from Becoming Sons came out to the show. I think it was Roger and Brian. And they came and saw the set. And after we finished playing, we talked with them. And basically, they told us that, hey, our two guitarists, at the time, the two guitarists that they had, were no longer in the band. And they had show commitments that they had already said yes to, and they didn't want to drop. So I believe it was the KOUJ Block Party in 2021 and also the Chains Unchained Festival in 2021. So it was just those two summer shows. They needed some fill-in guitarists, so they asked me and my best bro Brandon if we would fill in. So we prayed on it, and then we were like, "Yeah, we'll fill in." And so we filled in for those two shows, and they asked me if I would like to join the band, but at the time I had Forever Alive still going on, and I didn't want to leave that hanging, and I wanted my full dedication to be to Forever Alive. So I actually eventually just turned it down. Initially, I turned it down, um, and just kept, I fill in here and there, and then there was some time after that where I was kind of figuring stuff out, like what was going on with Forever Alive. We were already writing like for the next record. We were gonna do a second album, which I already had fully written, but stuff the Lord like just would not allow it to come out yet, and there would just be stuff that would pop up, and I saw it as signs as like this is not meant to come out yet, so I need to like kind of shelve this for now. And so, and I already at that point I already started feeling from the Lord like, you know what, like I was praying on it, and I just felt from the Lord say, right now, just take a break from Forever Alive. And what I want you to do right now is I just want you to help other ministries and stop what you're doing with your own ministry.
Cool.
And it was just kind of like, okay. And like, I've never known that. I've never known to do many projects all at one time. And in a way, I guess that was like, I guess the Lord making me like, what's the word? I guess to not be so selfish with the gift that He's given me, to only use it for me. So that was like a learning point when I really started, I started playing in the church, doing church worship, helping out. And through that, that's how I actually contacted the guys in Becoming Sons. And I said, hey, the Lord has me on this trip right now where it's just me helping as many ministries as I can besides my own. And I would be willing to help your ministry out for an indefinite amount of time until the Lord says no or yay or whatever's going to happen. And they were like, oh, okay, cool. So started jamming with the guys. And the more I started like jamming with them and actually like getting to know the guys more, I just like strongly through that, I kept feeling more led to go towards the direction of Becoming Sons until I officially just said, you know what? Like, I feel like it's right for me to join this band. Like I'm supposed to be in this band,
Yeah.
even though I turned it down before. And they invited me in, and they accepted me. And ever since then, God just put all the pieces together with the two other new members, Justin and Chad. And this is the current version of Becoming Sons.
Well, and you've got a lot of, musical talent. You know, you're a drummer, you're a guitar player in this band in Becoming Sons, and you're also one of the singers in the
Yeah,
band.
so yeah, in Becoming Sons, I sing, I do the clean singing, and Chad, he's the one that does all the screams and the growls and stuff. I could do it, but the problem that I was having is the problem that I was running into was that every time I would scream, because I guess I'm doing it improperly, my clean vocals would just be shot. And I was like, I don't want to go through that because it kind of feels uncomfortable and it's ugly, and I'd rather sing. I'd rather just focus my time on just clean singing and let someone else handle the screaming. And that's how that came about, to start looking for a screamer. But yes,
Can
I play good.
Awesome.
Oh no, I just wanted to comment on the music. I really love that you guys do the clean along with the growling or the cookie. I don't know, Cookie Monster, but they call it Cookie Monster here. But I really love the combination between the two. And your voice sounds great, by the way. And one other comment that I like to make about your music too is that I love the guitar hooks, and I love the vocal hooks that you guys have put in there. I always try to tell bands, and I feel like a broken record all the time, that is like, man, write a good hook for the guitar and write a good hook line so people remember your songs and when you're playing. And I was like, man, there's some good hook lines in this music, and I'm like, wow, these guys are really good and special. And I think adding that a bit of, I don't know if you would call the Linkin Park dimension to the music, where you have a singer that sings clean and a singer that does the growling. I love it. I think it sounds great, and more power to you.
Yeah, and
Oh, thank you
Marcus,
so much.
we actually do that in our worship band, our extreme worship band. We
Yeah.
we have the clean vocalists, the metal vocalists, and then we have a guy that just does the growling. So,
Oh, okay.
but it's classic, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, it really is. And Jay is the dedicated screamer.
Yeah,
So because because I really think that that you have to actually vocally be able to do it correctly
yeah.
in order for it to not hurt your vocal cords. And so but yeah, we definitely do that.
It's not for
And
everybody, huh? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I mean, I can imagine that would be hard on a voice that has to actually sing clean. And so fully agree with Marcus on that. So
yes. Well, Mark,
And for the consistency.
yeah.
yes, 100% agree with that. So
So, congratulations on signing with Resurrection Records. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, the Resurrection Records is awesome. Aaron is awesome. Jen Lamaris is awesome.
Yeah,
It's a great team, and
yeah,
everybody is just Christ-minded. Everybody prays on
no,
everything before any decisions get made, and like every meeting that goes on, it's not even really like a meeting. It's more of just, it just turns into like a Bible study.
that's
So
awesome.
it's awesome. There's so many great
mm,
qualities to this label, and
Yeah,
it's just not about being a label. It's just all about Jesus Christ.
about
mm,
ministry. Good for you.
yeah.
So, what do you have coming up on Resurrection? Are there plans right now? What do you have going on?
Right now, we are currently writing some songs. It takes us a little bit longer than most bands to kind of get together and write the songs, only because our other lead guitarist, he lives in Alice, Texas, and we're in San Antonio. So he's about, I would say, 3 hours away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like one of the definitions of dedication, because like every time we get together, he's got to drive 3 hours here, and then he drives 3 hours back.
Yeah,
But because of that, it makes our time together here when he comes to San Antonio, like it has to be productive. Like we can't be, it leaves no room for slacking off or nothing like that. We're just focused, praying on what the Lord wants us to do, and then we just do it, and the Lord just starts giving us the ideas. You know, here's the melody, here's the lyric, here's this, and we'll go over to Brian's home studio and we'll just start demoing stuff out. But we are in the works with some new songs. Actually, 3 songs right now, 3 singles.
Good.
Hopefully that should be out. We're hoping before summertime.
Oh, good.
And
Good for you guys.
We're looking to go back to Fernando Lemus at FL Recordings. He's here in San Antonio. He's the guy that did our singles Awakened and Dead Church, which Dead Church is our latest single that we have out. And we love the work that he does. So we're looking at working with him again on these next 3 singles. Just got to work out all the details. Well, first we got to finish writing them. And then once they're written, we like to just go in. That's how we like to do it. We like to just finish the songs before we go in. So that way, when we go in to record, it's like, there's no like, what if we did this? Or what if we did that? It's just like, we just go in there, we knock it out.
Did you guys, I watched the video Awaken, and did you guys, how did you guys do that? Did you guys contract a film crew, or do you guys just know somebody that does pro work like that? Because I mean, I work in the film business myself, and so I was like, this really looks good. It's well lit, and it sounded great. And how did you guys come about doing all that?
So that one was done by our good friend Jay Wilson. I don't know why I'm slacking on the name of his production company. Sorry, Jay, forgive me. But yeah, Jay Wilson, he was the director, the guy that filmed everything. He even wrote some of the, he helped along with us. He helped us write like somewhat of a script, because we kind of did it where it's not a typical music video. It kind of has like it's a little cinematic in the beginning, and then it gets into the video, which I don't think a lot of bands do anymore. It's just like, here's a song, bam, and that's it. So we kind of,
is the guy that was on the street saying, give your life to Jesus, is he a friend of yours, or?
Oh, yes. That's our good friend. He's in Epigon.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in a band called Epigon. You got to check him out.
Okay, for sure. Definitely.
Well,
but yeah, Jay Wilson did the video. We filmed it in 2 days. First day was all of us jamming in a white room.
Not right.
That was done somewhere downtown. It was at someplace downtown San Antonio, I think. And we actually ran into a complication, because the building where they were formerly at, they had a bigger room, and we thought we were going to be filming in that room, and then it turned out that they moved buildings, and they ended up moving to a smaller location. So Jay had to in the shots that you see in the video, we're all like spread out, but we were actually jamming in a really, really tight space in a tight room, and he had to make it seem like we were all spread out.
Wow, he did a good job doing that.
Yeah, so, and he comes from the world of he does a lot of horror movies and stuff like that. So to do like a faith-based project like this was something that was very different for him, but I think he knocked it out. He
totally did.
Captured the vision that we wanted to put out there, and the message, and I think he did a great job, and we would love to work with him again soon.
Well, and that's a compliment coming from Jim. He works in the industry. Right now he's working on with Nicole Kidman and a TV show, right? A TV series, Jim?
It's a TV series. It's a TV series called Scarpetta, and I've been working on it now for about 5 months, and we're nearing the end. We got about three more weeks of shooting. And then we a couple 2 or 3 weeks of wrap. So but yeah, it's been a long siege, because we're working through the winter. So,
oh yeah. It's a lot of work. A lot of people don't know all of the work that goes into this stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when you're doing daytime exteriors and it's 20 degrees outside, you haven't lived. You had to go through that, so
filming outside is always it's a challenge.
Oh, it is. And you guys did film outside, so you guys had a nice day for it. So
it was so hot. It was insanely hot. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to get out of the sun, especially in Texas. The sun is no joke.
It is no joke. I believe you.
So Marcus, we've got some questions that are coming in. Jonas has 2 questions for Marcus. On many of your songs, you have a lot of inspiration from the hardcore sound, but the vocals are predominantly clean and more melodic vocals, which is typical, which is atypical. Excuse me. One, is that a choice that you've made? And if so, why? That's his first question. So you have, he said, the hardcore sound, but the vocals are predominantly clean, more melodic vocals, which is not typical. Is that a conscious decision that you guys made to do that, or is that
Oh,
just okay?
I would say yes and no, because we did like, when we're right, or when the band started. I mean, the band initially started originally started in 2015, and it started out as a worship band, um,
Mm.
just playing worship songs. And then like over time, it was founded by Roger and Brian, because they had played together back in the day in a secular band back in the day, and then the Lord worked through both of them to bring them back together, started up becoming sons. But it started out as a worship project where they were just playing worship songs, Mercy Me type stuff, and whatever else. I guess more like CCM. It was
Yeah.
more of like a CCM type sound, and little by little, like the Lord kept bringing in members that were like making it heavier and heavier and heavier. And
Good.
Roger and Brian come from a rock heavy background, so that was like natural. It was a natural for them to bring it up and make it heavy. So right around the time the guys did the first album, Flesh to Death, back in 2018, it kind of was just like, to me, from an outsider, like at the time hearing it for the first time, I was like, man, this sounds like they have a lot of elements that I love. Like me, I can't, I won't say I can't stand bands that just scream, but I can only hear so much of it to where it just starts sounding the same.
Right.
And I'm more of a melodic metal guy, where I love melodies. I love
Yeah.
the heavy, but I also love melodic stuff, melodic singing, melodic, guitar scales and stuff like that. I love when guitars harmonize. So I love when bands actually have two. I gravitate more towards bands that have two guitarists, um, just for the fact of you being able to harmonize and do so many things to complement each other on the guitar.
Yes. Right.
And so we tried to incorporate that. I heard that on the Flesh to Death, where it's like hardcore, and at the same time it's metalcore and all these different sub genres. So it's like, I feel like there's something for everybody in the rock,
Yeah, it
in the
sounds
metal.
yeah.
And if I might just comment on that too.
Yeah.
So I listened to Awaken all the way through this morning, and I was like, those are leads that I would hear in a different genre, but I really liked it. I was like, and how tight those guitars are with the drums. You can almost tell that that you're a drummer because of how tight the drums and the guitars are with each other. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
I really like the variety that you guys put on there. You don't normally hear that. I think that the fellow that wrote that question was spot on, and that's one of the things I was like, gosh, this sounds really interesting and good. So
Yes, absolutely. And the second part of his question, I think you just partially answered. He said, in your music's sound, I also hear some inspiration from the old school hard rock and even a bit of Switch and Gage. Which other bands are you inspired by and how?
Oh gosh, that's a huge question. It's a great question though. I love it, and basically, I got to give props to Striper. That was actually, uh, I didn't know anything about Christian rock or Christian metal, and I was brought up, like I was blessed to have a family that brought me up on so much music. Like I have like my grandparents brought me up on all the 50s and 60s oldies, and then my dad and my mom were like the metalheads. So like I got all of the rock and the metal. My brother loved rock and metal too, but he also loved like he's 6 years older than me. I was born in the mid 90s and he was born in 88. So he kind of got to experience all of pop, hip hop, and everything of the 90s.
Right.
So I got that influence in there, and like I was surrounded by so much music. And one time we went on this family trip to Oklahoma for my uncle who was stationed there because he was in the military at the time. And on the trip, at the time it was 2003, I think it was, and we had portable CD players. I brought my jams. You know, I was like, oh, let me bring some Kiss, some Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, whatever. Blah. That's all I knew. And my cousin, he brought his CD player and his CDs, and in his stack of CDs, he had like it was right when Stryper was doing the reunion, and they did that 7 Best of Stryper CD, and when they so he brought that with him on the trip, and I was like, who's this band? He's like, oh, they're a Christian band, and like Christian metal, and I'm like looking at him crazy, like Christian metal, like that doesn't even sound right, because I'm coming from like I didn't know nothing about it, so I was just like, that doesn't even sound right. But he put it on, and when I heard songs like, you know, Soldiers Under Command, To Hell with the Devil, I was like, oh my gosh, like first of all, I was like, this is possible. Yeah. And I'm a believer, but I never like expressed my I never expressed that musically to do it for the Lord, even though at like when I was 7, a word was spoken over me that I would do music for the Lord one day. But at the time I was just like so mesmerized by it, I guess. I was just like, whoa. And like Michael Sweet, I was like, this dude can sing and hit the high notes and hang with guys like Rob Halford from Priest.
Yes.
And stuff like that. Like they are just as good. It's not like just like I know people have said like, oh, that's like the Diet Coke version of like rock and metal and stuff. And I'm like, no, this is the real deal. So that from Stryper, that's what led me to look up all the other bands, you know, Barren Cross, Deliverance. And I actually found out about Pastor Bob through I was actually going on YouTube, and I was looking up Vengeance because I had heard of this band called Vengeance, and I was like, I want to hear what they're all about. And it wasn't what I was expecting when I first heard it, but I like immediately dug it. I was like, whoa, like this is like really, really heavy. And I think I saw a YouTube video where Pastor Bob was talking about like the metal Mardi Gras.
Yes.
And that was my introduction to finding out who you were. And I was like, oh wow. So like when it came time to do this interview, I'm like, oh, I'm excited. This is super cool. But yeah, through Stryper, I found out all the other bands. And so that's from the Christian side of bringing all of that old school along with the new school Christian stuff, like Disciple. I mean, they came out in the 90s, but I would consider them like more newer.
Yes.
But mixing the old with the new, and then bringing in the secular aspect, like you said, Killswitch Engage. We love the secular stuff too, the Metallica, Pantera. We're from Texas, so we're like all on board with Pantera because they're Texas boys. So all the bands, Trivium, Bullet for My Valentine, all those bands have that melodic metalcore, dual guitars and stuff like that, which is reminiscent of like KK Downing and Glenn Tipton from Judas Priest, Adrian Smith and Dave Murray, Iron Maiden. So like I love that sound, and we love the really, really heavy stuff. So we were like, let's just combine them both and let the melodic stuff be 100% melodic and let the heavy stuff just be 100% heavy. And you kind of go on this roller coaster ride, but at a not out of context, just in a context of a song that it fits, and it's not too much. We try to get a even balance. Even when we're coming up with lyrics, it's like we try to make the balance 50-50. Like it's going to be 50-50 screams and 50-50 clean singing, which should please a wide range of our audience.
Yes, and you know, and a whole lot has happened since that beginning, and now we've got 18 different genres of heavy metal.
Oh yeah, and it seems to keep growing. Like a new one pops up all the time. It's like whoa,
and
I can't even keep up.
Yes, John. Do we have any more questions that people are asking? Not sure if we had any more. When do you consider a project to be a success? Many people get discouraged if their band or their project closes down. And if that happens, people give up. So how do you measure success? And what motivates you to keep going? That's a great question.
Oh, that's a super great question. So I I mean, me personally, the way that I define success is like, for example, you know, if we're coming up with the song and we're feeling really, really good about it, and we know that it's Holy Spirit led, then by the time the song is done, to me, it already is a success because it was something that the Lord gave us, that He trusted us with this to release it and put it out. And once it's out, it's already successful to me because I'm like, this is all just wins and gains for the Lord.
What
And
a great answer. I love that answer.
it's not about, I mean, it's very cool that like a band like us, we get to chart like on Christian Music Weekly, CMW charts and stuff like that. But like like we've had singles reach the #1 spot, which is awesome. Like we would have never thought it would do that. But at the same time, we're not writing songs to like, let's be #1 on Christian Music Weekly. It's just like, if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it's still a success.
There's a real balance. You know, Jim was talking about writing, making sure that the music has a good hook so you remember it. And Jim, whenever I think of that, I think of Dino and John Elefante hammering that into our brains. Because they were the ones that said, oh, the hook isn't strong enough, or, you know, needs a better hook. And they were the best songwriters because of it. There's a balance.
Yeah, there is. And I just want to speak to that for a second.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when Rock for the King came out back before you were born, Marcus. I remember playing a show about a month after the record came out. And the thing that was incredible for me was that now that people had the music in their hands, I saw them singing along to the music.
Yeah.
And that was just
that's huge.
man, is they singing every lyric. They were singing the lyrics I didn't understand. And so, you know, my dad used to say, oh, I don't understand lyrics in your music and all that stuff. But you know, that was to me a form of success, knowing that the audience that, you know, that were there, they were singing along with it, and they were enjoying the music as I was enjoying it while we were playing it, and they were singing along to it as well. And there was just a sense, I'll never forget the first time that happening to me. And I remember it very vividly that, oh my gosh, these people know these songs and they like them.
Yes.
And you know, and so, and that was just a treat for my ears, because it was encouraging. It made me feel like we were going in the right direction musically. And also too, what you said about Holy Spirit led lyrics, you know, you can tell, because you know, people will write into you and say, this song encouraged me with this song encouraged me with walk with the Lord. So
that's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And one last question from Al, actually. He says, what is the message behind awakening? Awakened. Yeah. Oh,
revolves around there we go. So Awakened, that one all revolves around mainly the chorus. Like the lyrics is, I never thought I'd walk again, but you've awakened me from the dead. And it's all about just God like pulling us out of anything that we're going through, like any depression, physical, like any bad physical health, or just anything. It could even be mentally, stuff that's just going on the inside that nobody knows about. You know, it's crazy too, because like I know that it says that he was bruised for our iniquities, and that means like the stuff that was on the inside. It's like bruises and stuff on the inside that you couldn't see when everybody was only looking at what was done to him on the outside.
That's
he was
great.
like, you know, going to the cross. So like with that word iniquities, bruised for our iniquities is like all the stuff that was hidden on the inside and stuff. So like he knows exactly how you feel, and he you know, through all of that, you know, he pulls us out of it. As long as we keep like seeking him, trusting him, you know, like he knows he is the way, so he knows how to make our path straight. He knows how to like take us from the one season to the next. and come out of it, with him still, like, even if it takes a long time and you have to go through the valleys, like he's waiting for you on the other side of that,
Absolutely.
while also being with you in it. So it's crazy. It's crazy how he's both.
Glenn Mancaruso. Glenn is the drummer for Vengeance, by the way. And Glenn has a really deep question. He says, caffeinated or decaf coffee?
Oh, I'm gonna upset a lot of people right now because I don't drink coffee.
Oh,
I don't drink coffee. I'm a really picky person. I know. I ask the Lord all the time, like, why did you make me this way? Because people offer me stuff all the time. You want some coffee? You want some bean and cheese tacos? And I'm like, I don't like beans. I'm like, and I'm constantly saying no to all these people, like turning away all these blessings. But I mean, I never forget the blessings, but I'm always turning them down. And I wish I wasn't as picky as I am.
I love that, dude. I love that.
That's good. Great answer.
It is.
I live off of like chicken strips and pizza, whatever is like microwavable.
Marcus,
I still eat like a kid.
it's been a delight having you on the show today. I appreciate you taking
It's
the time.
so awesome. I'm glad to be on here. We're all fans of both. My drummer, Roger, he is a huge Barren Cross fan, and like I know he found out about Barren Cross because he was telling me, because we were chatting before I came on here, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I remember I was listening to like Slayer and Megadeth and stuff, and my mom didn't want me listening to that, so I was with her at a Christian bookstore back in the day, and she bought me a Barren Cross cassette tape. I don't know what cassette tape it was, but she got him a Barren Cross cassette tape, and boom, that like was his introduction into
awesome.
the whole Christian metal.
Oh, that's awesome. I love hearing stories like that. And
Me too.
that's so encouraging. That's awesome.
It is very much. Well, my friend, when the new stuff comes out on Resurrection, would you make sure to come on with us again? Let's talk about it.
Oh, for sure, yes.
And that would be great to keep up with the band. We're excited for you, excited for the music, excited for ministry that is ahead of you, and this has been a really great time getting to know you a little better, Marcus.
It's awesome hanging out with you guys, and
Yes,
it's been great fellowship.
absolutely, the best part. Well, folks, you don't want to miss a single episode of our Sanctuary Live program. We'll be back again next week. And by the way, also don't forget, you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.